Hello, in this video we are just going over an example of how to use stack to solve a problem. As I have been kind of saying, stack is actually very useful. And so the problem we're going to try to solve with the stack is that um, so in order for computer to evaluate a mathematical expression, which when you write it in Python code or Java C++ code, it's just a string, right? So these strings can contain parentheses. Mathematical expressions can contain lots of parentheses, and a valid mathematical or arithmetic expression must have a balance or a balanced number of parentheses, meaning the number of open parentheses. Each open parentheses must have a matching close parentheses. So one of the job is to just to make sure given a string that contains open and close parentheses, we have to determine if it has balanced parentheses or not balanced parentheses. So some examples of balanced parentheses is basically an empty string. Since it does not have unbalanced parentheses, then it means it does have balanced parentheses, even though it has nothing. Or basically just two open parentheses, two closed parentheses, or just pairs of open and closed parentheses, or a mix of that. Now, there's examples that here that these strings do not have balanced parentheses, like a single open parenthesis, single closed parentheses, or it has more open parentheses, 3 here, than closed parentheses, 2 here. Okay, so that's the problem statement here. Think for a moment or think for a while. How do we solve this problem? And particularly with the use of a stack. So if you can't think of a solution right away, it's okay. It's not the most straightforward question. And but go ahead and think about it. If you can't think of it, I'll give you a hint. So, but think for a moment first. All right. So maybe you thought about it. Maybe you figured it out already. But for those of you who needs a hint, here is a little hint. Now, in order to show you how it works, I am actually going to do a real stack using my Post-it. And let me get my wire out of the way. Excuse me while I try to set this up. All right, so I hope this works. Now, so basically here I just have a kind of, this thing kind of represents a string, right? So this string has 3 open parentheses and 3 closed parentheses. Okay, so I'm gonna try to show you how we can use a stack to figure out this string actually has matching pair of parentheses. Okay, so I'm gonna start with the first character in the string, and I see that it's an open parenthesis. Well, so what I'm going to do is, okay, I have an open parenthesis. I really don't know yet if there is a matching closed parenthesis, right? So if I don't know something, but I see something, I'm going to remember that I actually see a open parenthesis in a stack. So I am going to put this, the first open parenthesis, in a stack. Okay, pretend this is a stack. All right, so I come to my next character in the string. Okay, it's another parenthesis. And again, I don't know whether there will be a matching close parenthesis or maybe there won't, but I don't know just by looking at the open parenthesis. So again, I don't know, therefore I'm going to remember it by putting it in the stack. Third one, the same thing. I see another open parenthesis, I will push it onto the stack. Okay, now I come to my next character in the string. that is a closed parentheses. Okay, so when I see a closed parentheses, I want to see if there's a matching open parentheses. So let me get rid of this closed parentheses first. And I'm going to look into my stack to see is there a open parentheses for this closed parentheses. And there is one, so good. I pop it off and I'm going to put this away. Okay, so because I have a close parentheses with a matching open parentheses. So far so good, right? I come to the next character. I see another close parentheses. Okay, close parentheses. Then okay, let me pop something off the stack. And okay, there is an open parentheses for this close parentheses. That's great. I'm going to pop it off the stack. And I'm going to continue on to the next character. The last character is another close parentheses. So I consume this close parentheses and I look at my stack. Hey, there is one more open parentheses. So I pop that off the stack. And there, I'm out of characters in the string. And I look at my stack, it's empty. That means all of these guys have the matching open parentheses. So this string has balanced number of parentheses. Okay, I'm going to show the next example. This one is going to look slightly different. So I'm going to set this up. I'm going to have open and close parentheses, and then open, open, and close and close. So this is another example of balance parentheses. But let's see, hopefully the algorithm that we just deploy will tell us that. Okay, let's start. We see open parentheses, okay. Don't know enough, I'm going to put it in the stack. I see a closed parentheses. Well, great. Let's look at the stack. Is there open parentheses? Yes, there is. I'm going to pop it off. Okay, now I see an open parentheses. I'm going to put it in the stack. See another open parentheses. Put it on the stack. See a closed parentheses. Get rid of the closed parentheses. Pop one thing off from the stack. I see the last closed parentheses. Consume that. I have and pop this thing off the stack. It's the last open parentheses. So get rid of that. And there, again, I'm done with the string and I have nothing in the stack. So that means, once again, I have a balanced number of parentheses. So I hope that you see how it works. Now let's look at an example where there are unbalanced number of parentheses. So here I'm going to have an open, open, and close. All right, so maybe you can do this yourself now. So if you want to, pause the video, try this on your own, but I'm going to show it now. So here, I see the first open parentheses. I'm going to put it on my stack. See the second open parentheses. I'm going to put it on my stack. Okay. Now come to the third character in the string. It's a closed parentheses. All right, close one. That means we pop from the stack. And now I'm out of characters in the string, but my stack is not empty. I have something left. I have an open parentheses left in my stack. That tells me the original string does not have balanced number of open and closed parentheses. Again, because I have something left in my stack. Okay. And now I'm going to show one last example of unbalanced parentheses. And the way this is going to work is I'm going to have open, close, and then I'm going to have a extra close parentheses. So if you want, try this yourself, but here we go. I see an open parentheses, I put it on my stack. I see a close parentheses, all right, I'm going to pop it off my stack. Now I see a close parentheses, meaning I should pop something off the stack, right? But there's nothing to pop from the stack because the stack is empty, which then means this close parentheses has no matching open parentheses. Okay, so we go through these few examples. I hope it kind of help you see how we can use a stack to figure out if the number of open and close parentheses are balanced. Okay, so we are going to, now that we know how to do it, then all that's left is to translate that into code. So let's take a look at how we actually write that piece of code. So I'm going to write a function called just balance parentheses. It's going to return true if the number of parentheses in the string is balanced, and false if it's not. So I'm going to go through the string. Well, first thing is I'm going to have a stack by using a list. All right, so I'm going to go through all the characters in the string. If, right, so let's follow along. Or actually, if you actually want to write this on your own, now is the chance that you should pause the video, think about what we just did, and maybe translate that into the code. Okay, now if you have done that, or you just want to see how I do it. Now, if that character is if a open parentheses, well, remember what we do with the open parentheses. We don't really know if there's a close parentheses, so all we can do is to push it, well, not push, append it onto the stack. Okay? Okay, else if it's a close parentheses. Okay, what do we do if it's a close parentheses? We should look into the stack and see if there's anything, right? Now, if there's nothing in the stack, what does that tell us? We have a close parentheses, but we have nothing in the stack. Nothing in the stack. Nothing in the stack means we have extra close parentheses, right? So that's not good. We have to say, we have too many close parentheses, and we're going to return false. Okay, so if there's something in the stack, that means we have at least one open parentheses, right? So we just have to pop it off. All right, so we get rid of it, and then that's it. We keep going. Now, what if there's some other characters in the string? Well, we can either just say, hey, something's very wrong, or we can just ignore them. So here I choose to just ignore them. Okay, so are we done? Well, not quite, because remember, there's another case that is if we after we gone through the entire string, right? And if we actually have something left in the stack, that means we have too many open parentheses. So after we gone through all the characters, we should check if the length of the stack, if there's something in the stack, if there's something in the stack, then we don't, well, or rather, if there's nothing in the stack, if there's nothing in the stack, if the length is 0, then we are there's no extra open parentheses, so it's balanced, so we return true. Otherwise, we should return false. Okay, if there's something left in the stack, then we have unbalanced open parentheses. So that's what it means. For those of you who actually can see this, I mean, if this is true, we return true. Otherwise, it's false, we return false. Then we might as well just write this as return if the stack is empty. The stack is empty, we're good. The stack is not empty, we're not good. Okay. I'm trying to, yeah. Okay. Anyway, so that's how this works. I hope I didn't make any mistakes. And then here is a number of tests. So the first one is well, there's again an empty string, meaning there are balanced number of parentheses. So that's balanced. This is balanced. This is also balanced. These are unbalanced. Okay, and I can probably do more. It doesn't really matter. So let me run this, and I hope I got it right. Whew, okay, good. So the first three, they have balanced parentheses, and then the last four, they do not. Okay, so that's what the solution is, and I paste it into the slides if you just need that. I guess this version is slightly different from what I just typed. Okay, but they do pretty much the same thing. I'll probably change the slide to have this version that I just typed out. Okay, so hopefully that's helpful, and that show you an application of stack. All right, that's the end of this video. Thank you.